Hey class, this is a video to help you with the growth mindset essay. We've gone through several assignments. One of the first that we went through was annotating the article by Dr. Dwick. The purpose of that was to pull out, let's see if I can get one here, to pull out our ideas from the article that we felt were key points and resonated with us. So we've read Mortimer Adler's How to Mark a Book. He told us that we could star, outline, draw questions in it. Now I own this piece. This is mine. It has my subjective interpretation on the side of what I think is important in this piece and how it applies to my life. That's the key point. I own this piece. What the author intends is not always that important as what you walk away from the piece with. So your subjectivity. The second thing that we covered in the order of the process is the outline for the essay, where I gave you two options. You could either use the classic template for an outline, where we named it Roman numeral 1, A, B, C, points underneath each. Obviously, we have an introduction, body paragraphs, a conclusion, and I've given you the instructions for the essay based around your experience. Some people have approached this in different ways. Some people have approached it through the eyesight of why is the growth mindset effective. Many people have posted in their outline as how the growth mindset will help them in school or education through many challenges, whether that be hard classes, bad teachers, maintaining study habits, the list goes on and on. So I wanted to give you some ideas of how to approach this essay. First of all, I wanted to make this personal for you. The essay should apply to you and incorporate Dwick's growth mindset concepts. First thing I'm thinking is there are 3 rules there. Maybe I take one of those rules for each body paragraph because we have to have 3 body paragraphs. Put in a reading aspect of the fact you don't have to include quotation. You can paraphrase Dwick's ideas in your own words and then reference that. You cite it because it's her ideas. Or summarize. You can take large chunks of, say, the paragraph right here and condense that into one sentence, 1 to 2 sentences, and cite it because those, once again, are her ideas. I gave you the essay map if you preferred to have a more visual outline. Now, the ways we can approach this, as I said, are some students will write about how this can help them in college, how this can help them in school. Some students have written about whatever field that you're going into, making it personal, something you're interested in. How can this help me in sports? How can this help me as a musician? How can this help me in engineering? How can this help me in theater? It applies to all of these life aspects and how we live. You can pinpoint moments in time. If I were going to do that, I would write an introduction, giving an overview of my background, maybe introduce Dwick's article, and how I'm going to make a thesis statement. It's an argument concerning the growth mindset, having a point. So if I were going to go through points in time, maybe I have this one set of time I didn't have a growth mindset. I use that in the opening paragraph, body paragraph. Maybe at this point in time where I did have a growth mindset, use that in the third. And maybe I had this point in time that's in the current situation where if I apply what I did well in the second and not the first, my outcome might come out better. Now I've written bits and pieces of time. I could also turn it into rather a narrative. You know, it's your story to tell. It's your experiences. So I'll give you an example. This would run more fluently through the paper. So when I was younger, my mother had some mental health issues. She'd had this several times during her life, depression and whatnot. And when she first started having these issues, I was embarrassed. I was in denial, kind of running away. This is my first paragraph concerning how I did not have a growth mindset. And in a second paragraph, body paragraph, I would start to explain how I started becoming comfortable with that situation. How I realized there were aspects, there were actually gifts from that situation, such as being bonded closely together as a family, understanding the idea of something that people don't talk about. And then in the third paragraph, I would have the growth mindset because now I'm able to talk to other people about it, and if they're going through the same thing, I've just empowered them to not feel alone. So now I'm total growth mindset. Do you see? So now it's more of a narrative. And I would pick the 3 quotes again and correlate them with those ideas that I just mentioned for my essay. So there's an overview of how the essay functions. I know this is broad. It's supposed to be. I don't want to just give you a topic and have you write about it because that would be rather boring and impersonal. And to me, the growth mindset should be very personal, regardless of what field you're going into. So hopefully this helps. So there's no wrong way to annotate. I've given you several methods of outlining. One more hint, if you're writing a paper, and I wager to bet with you, if you find your quotes, 1, 2, 3, right? I got my 3 quotes, and I've chosen them to fit within the concept of my paper from this annotation, first step, and I move them around or throw some out, put them in order. Now I have a basis for my outline in the order I'm going to progress at, right? So now when I sit down to write the paper, I can write the paper twice as fast because I don't get writer's block. I don't waste time sitting there. I know exactly where I'm going with my essay, my story, my narrative. I can write the paper twice as fast and make twice as good a grade on it. It took me almost to graduate school until I figured this concept out. It makes it much easier than sitting there getting a writer's block. And it makes it much more concise. So in the future, regardless of your field, take my method to heed. Put your quotes in order. Annotate the piece. Make an outline. Oh, you're set, ready to go. And I don't care what field you're writing in. And make an argument, the thesis statement. I hope this helps. Email me. Let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. Talk to you soon. Look forward to seeing the work.